Orgnar.
Faendal thinks he can woo Camilla Valerius away from me. She's already... Camilla Valerius knows I'm the best man in Riverwood. That elf is kidding himself if he thinks she would choose him over me. I've seen him sneaking over to the Riverwood trader to speak with her when I'm not around. He's wasting his time. You may be right. Camilla may see Faendal as little more than a friend, but why take chances? Here, give Camilla this letter. It's full of venomous nonsense. Tell her it's from Faendal. Truly? So maybe my mother isn't crazy after all. You had best tell the Jarl in Whiterun. He needs to know about this. At the Bard's College in Solitude. They train bards and skalds like myself. If you go there, talk to Viarmo. He's the headmaster. Lucan's got a little bit of everything at the Riverwood Trader. If you need weapons or armor, see Alvor, the blacksmith. Until next time.
Give me a mug of ale.
Coming right up.
Staring at?
We got rooms and food. Drink, too. I cook. Ain't much else to tell. Long as you clean up. You know how to use it, right? Mix a couple of ingredients together, see what happens. A little wheat and blisterwort makes a healing potion, if you didn't know. We have plenty of ingredients for sale, too. Here, take a look at this. Some of the Jarl's men came by and left this bounty letter. There have been whispers. A boy up in Windhelm, name of Aventus Aretino, been trying to contact the Dark Brotherhood. Until next time.
You're that visitor, Ben Pope. Word is Ulfric Stormcloak escaped from the Imperials. War is only going to get worse now. They say a dragon attacked Helgen. Sounds like hogwash to me.
We got rooms and food. Have you seen that shrine of Azura? They say the Dark Elves built it after they fled from Morrowind. Sight to see.
This is a local favorite and one of the first songs I ever learned.
Of course. It's all in this note.
Once was a hero named Ragnar the Red who came riding to Whiterun from old Rorikstead.
Of course. It's all in this note. Need a room? Talk to Delphine. Of course. It's all in this note. I'm just a cook, lad. Nobody trusts those mages way up north in their college. Gods only know what they do up there. Word is, Ulfric Stormcloak escaped from the Imperials. War's only gonna get worse now. We've got something of a love triangle here in Riverwood. Faendal and Sven, both vying for Camilla's affections. They say a dragon attacked Helgen. Sounds like hogwash to me. Mm-hmm.
new face, and a right ugly one at that. No offense. Got business here in Riverwood, eh? There are worse villages.
It's nice to be back in a friendly spot, huh? Listen, I'm going to lay up here for a while. You can make your own way to Solitude from here. I'd recommend heading to Whiterun, just down the road from here. From there you can take a carriage to Solitude. Keep your guard up.
Mara bless you for agreeing to help
The
us.
sooner you find the claw, the sooner our lives can get...
Get me mad, and I'll prank you. And not a little, a lot.
Nobody believes me, but I tell you, I saw a dragon!
I own the lumber mill and pay a fair wage. And by supplies, I suppose you mean weapons and armor? Alvor can help you out. He's our blacksmith. It's my mill. Some folks thinks it's my town too, but it ain't. The Jarl in Whiterun owns the land and the town. I just pay the taxes. Until next time.
Greetings, Brother Elf. Good to see a familiar face so far from home. What is that blowhard up to now? So, he thinks he can turn Camilla against me. Two can play at this. Here, give this letter to Camilla and tell her it's from Sven. Let's see what she thinks of him after reading that. I'll show you what I know. Good day.
Mara, you're a strapping young man. Don't be a stranger. He what? What are you talking about? Why, that jealous idiot. Thought he could just manipulate me into never seeing Sven again? Thank you for telling me the truth. You should speak to Sven. I'm sure he'll want to thank you too for defending his name. All right then.
I'm new around here, so I'll go easy on you. But don't get me mad, and I'll prank you. And not a little.
That
a
letter
lot.
ought to convince Camilla to never speak. Now that's what I like to hear. Good work. I think you deserve some gold from my tips at the inn. We drink to our youth, to days come and gone, for the age of aggression is just about done. We'll drive out the stormcloaks and restore what we own. With our blood and our steel, we will take back our home.
You're that visitor been poking around.
Down with Ulfric, the killer of kings. On the day of your death, we will drink and we'll sing. We're the children of Skyrim, and we fight all our lives. And when Sovngarde beckons, every one of us dies. But this land...
handle yourself well, you could make for a decent shield, brother. An outsider, eh? Never heard of the Companions? An order of warriors. We are brothers and sisters in honor. And we show up to solve problems if the coin is good enough. Not for me to say. You'll have to talk to Kodlak Whitemane up in Jorvaskar. The old man's got a good sense for people. He can look in your eyes and tell your worth. If you go to him, good luck.
Getting tired of hanging around. The Companions are my family. We fight so that other people don't have to. We bring honor and glory to ourselves and each other. Vilkas and I have been here since we were little whelps. Our father Jurgen raised us here. Even Vigner couldn't remember Companions younger than us. Kodlak is the one who figures out who can be a Companion, so talk to him. It's out of my hands. Too confusing for me. Empire, Nords, Talos, who cares? Just tell me who needs bludgeoning. Mm-hmm.
There's a nip in the air. Cold won't be good for my... Honest pay for honest work. Honest pay for honest work. You should buy some produce from Carlotta's stall. Most of it comes from my farm.
Yes. What can I do for you?
This war's as stupid as our feud with Clan Greymane.
Need a ride? Well, I know the Companions make their home here. Their mead hall, Jorvaskar, is the oldest building in the city. Oh, and there's a nasty feud between two families called the Greymanes and the Battleborns. You'll want to be careful there. The rest you can find out by asking the townsfolk. Start with the barkeep at the Bannered Mare or the Castle Stirred. Good day. Need a horse? Talk to my father, Skolvar.
I have traveled far across Tamriel to serve you. It is all in this note. The Khajiit hail from a distant land called Elsewhere, bordered on the north by Cyrodiil, and the south by the glistening blue waters of the sea. Elsewhere is an arid land of deserts and rocky canyons, where the sun shines warmly, always. There are cities so ancient, the sands have swallowed them whole. But now I will say no more, for I miss my home greatly. An astute question, for we are far from home, and this is a cold, hard land. The wise trader finds the best opportunities, even if he must travel far to find them. Skyrim is a ripe opportunity indeed. The dragons and the war have scared many other traders away, but for those with courage, there is much profit to be made. Take a look. May your road lead you to warm sands.
Please, come and browse our goods. There is much beauty in this place. They'll never see you coming. I hope that you will come to do business with us again.
Jewels, wares, all for sale at fair prices.
Yes?
Come to chat with an old woman, hmm? Do your good deed for the day.
Halt! City's closed with the dragons about. Official business only. Fine. But we'll be keeping an eye on you. They say Helgen got hit by a... Brigands, I can handle.
We'll pay whatever it
Just
takes,
talk of
but
dragons,
we must have more swords for
world
the
gone mad,
Imperial
I say.
soldiers.
I just can't fill an order that size on my own. Why don't you swallow that stubborn pride of yours and ask Yorland Greymane for help?
I'd sooner bend my knee to Ulfric's Stormcloak. Besides, Greymane would never make steel for the Legion.
Have it your way. I'll take the job, but don't expect a miracle. Got some good pieces out here if you're looking to buy. More inside. That I do. I've got to, if I hope to be as good as Yorland Greymane someday. In fact, I just finished my best piece of work. It's a sword. I made it for the Jarl, Balgruf the Greater. It's a surprise. I don't even know if he'll accept it, but... Listen, could you take the sword to my father, Proventus Avenici? He's the Jarl's steward. He'll know the right time to present it to him. Thanks. Yes, actually. How about you smith me an iron dagger? Here's everything you need to make one. Go ahead. Don't forget to check inside the shop if you need anything. That's a decent weapon you made there. I don't claim to be the... Not bad, but it's a little dull. How about you sharpen it up? Just need a bit of metal and the grindstone over there. Until next time. Have you met my father? He's the steward up at Dragon's Reach. This looks good. You put time into your blades, they'll serve you well when you need them. You want to keep helping? How about you make some armor? Let's start by tanning some leather on the rack. Until next time. I help my father in more ways than people realize. Ah, good. A lot of weapons and armor need leather for straps fitting, that kind of thing. Let's see if you can make a hide helmet. Here's the rest of what you need. Don't forget to check inside the shop if you need anything. Got some good pieces out here if you're looking to buy. More inside. I should hire you to be my assistant at this rate. Let's improve the fit. Take this leather to the workbench over there. Don't forget to check inside the shop if you need it. Have you met my father? He's the steward up at Dragon's Reach. You have talent. Keep working at your craft and you'll be a fine smith one day. Why don't you keep that dagger and helmet? Maybe you will remember me when you're making Skyforged steel, huh? Of course. Plenty. I'd say we're prosperous enough. Most folk don't go hungry, if they're willing to work hard. The city's ruled by the Jarl up in Dragon's Reach. That's the fortress there, up on the tall hill. But you're probably more interested in your Vasker, Mead Hall of the Companions. Their deeds of war and valor are legendary.
Welcome to... We've got small weapons as well as big. Maces, daggers, that sort of thing. Adrienne, at her forge, just outside. Place is named after her. War Maidens. It's a childhood nickname given by her father. What I hear, she was playing with swords even back then. Anyway, our wares are strong and the price is fair. What else matters? That'll be the Jarl, Balgruf the Greater. He's an honorable enough man. Never done wrong by me or my kin. Things are tough for him now, I'd wager. What with the fighting and the dragons. But Balgruf's a tough old Nord. He can handle it. Take a look. Good doing business with you.
Do you get to the Cloud District very often? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you don't.
I work for Bellathor at the General Goods Store.
Well met, Traveler. What brings you to Whiterun? Ah, so it's gold you're after then. You need only ask about it. Plenty of folk in Whiterun with too much fat and gold to be bothered doing anything for themselves. Ah, the most important question of all, that one. You'll want the bannered mare. See old Hulda? She'll keep you swimming in mead. But mind the bard, Mikael. Poncy little milk drinker, that one. Ah, man gives bards a bad name. We Nords have a long history as warrior poets. I am proud to count myself among them. But Mikael, he sings only for gold and the affections of wenches. He dishonors our traditions.
Still warm from the oven.
Ain't sure if they're taking on new members, but you should talk to the companions. They're over in their hall, Jorvaskr. If by work, you mean testing your steel in bloody battle. Aye, that I do. Half all my life. We Battleborns have been here since the beginning, along with the Greymanes. Our family's been close as kin for generations, but Ulfric Stormcloak's uprising has divided us. Now, seems we can scarce look at each other without coming to blows. Petty and foolish, that. They are saying dragons have returned to Skyrim. Now that's a real problem. May your sword be sharp, and your tongue sharper.
Let me know if you see anything you like.
I work for Bellathor at the General Goods Store.
Everything's for sale. I'd even buy one of your relatives if you're looking to sell. Yeah, that's a little joke. Interesting, to say the least. What with all that's been going on. On the one hand, supplies are harder to come by since fewer traders are traveling the roads these days. But on the other, the scarcity of supplies has led to some, well, elevated prices. All that matters is that I have what you need, and it's worth every septum. Isn't it obvious? Why, the wonderful weather and hospitable people, of course. Not to mention my great fondness for dragons and petty political power struggles. But without a doubt, the most compelling feature of this frozen wasteland is the volley of inane questions leveled at me on a regular basis. Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that. Do come back. I can tell you're a discriminating customer. Perhaps you're a wealthy one, too, hmm? I assure you, I'm prepared to make any deal.
I work for Bellathor.
Foolish old...
Come by Bellathor's shop at the market. I'm sure we've got something you need.
Nothing of our struggles, our suffering.
Nothing. And what of my son, What of Thorald? Is he nothing? So don't talk to me about suffering.
Your son chose his side and he chose poorly, and now he's gone. Such is the way of war. The sooner you accept his loss, the better.
I will never accept his death. My son still lives. I feel it in my heart. So tell me, Battleborns, where is he? Where are you holding my Thorald?
Do you believe this old
Come and see my selection of the finest quality meats.
holding him? Why, I've got him in my cellar. He's my prisoner. Face it, Cow. Your stupid son is dead. He died a storm-cloaked traitor. And you best keep your mouth shut before you suffer the same.
Come on, Father. There's nothing more to be said here.
All I can think about is my son, my Thorald. They say that he was killed, but I know better. I know my son is alive. Those Battleborn, they're in with the Imperials. They know it too, and yet they lie to my very face. I just know it. I can feel it in my heart. You have to believe me. Please visit me at my home. I can tell you the whole story.
I ain't done nothing.
Life's hard enough with all these men propositioning me. But that bard is the worst. That bard Mikhail is begging for a dagger up against his throat, the way he goes on about me. I heard him boasting at the Bannered Mare, saying he'll conquer me as a true Nord conquers any harsh beast. Huh! If you want to try, go right ahead. I don't think anything will get through that thick skull of his, though. You've got no idea. Half the men in Whiterun have proposed to me. Some were even single. They'll never understand. No amount of flowers or honeyed words are going to change my mind. Right now, all that matters is my daughter Mila. No man's going to get between me and my little girl. Remember, fresh fruit and vegetables every day. Mostly.
No lollygagging.
I work with my mother, sell fruits and vegetables. It's fun most days, but hard work.
The finest cuts, fresh from the wilds.
I spend a lot of time at the market stall so I can learn the merchant's trade. I need more experience if I'm going to run an inn someday. Once I've made enough money trading with the Khajiit caravans, I'm going to buy the Bannered Mare from Hulda. Before my ma and Da passed, I told them that one day, I'd become the best trader in Skyrim. I met one of the caravan leaders, Madran. He said he'd help me get started if I could bring him a mammoth's tusk. Easier said than done. You'd do that? If you find one, I could teach you a thing or two about trading. Help you get a fair bargain in the future? Yeah, these Khajiit make a living traveling the roads and selling their wares. It's got to be tough. Skyrim's a hard enough land when you've got a roof over your head. Worst thing is, nobody wants them in the cities. Nobody trusts them. Matter of fact, I do. They've been fair enough with me, far as I can tell. And a Nord knows a liar when she sees one. Farewell.
Had enough of fish and fowl? Treat yourself and your kin to a choice cut of steak or a tender rack of ribs.
From the oven.
Maybe some other time I'll reveal your destiny. Tea leaves, palm reading, crystal scrying. Ooh, maybe...
If you need potions, you should try Arcadia's colony.
I've got a hungry daughter to feed, so selling my produce is really the only thing I care about.
Fire, and I'll send someone over.
If it's work you're looking for, Hulda's the one to talk to.
Yes, Mum. And the braggart did swagger and brandish his blade as he told of bold battles and gold he had made. But then he went quiet, did Ragnar.
You want a
when
drink?
He met the shield maiden Matilda, who said,
Depends. Are you thirsty? Hungry? Both.
Talk and you lie and you drink all our mead. Now I think it's high time that you lie down and bleed.
Now please, no more questions.
And so then came clashing and slash. Steel as the brave lass Matilda charged in full of zeal. Ragnar was boastful no more when his ugly red head rolled around on the floor.
If you need more food or drink, speak to Hulda.
Today's come and gone, for the age of aggression is just about done.
But lucky for you, that was just sitting there for the taking.
What we own with our blood and our we will take back our home.
By order of the Jarl, you have committed crimes against Skyrim and her people. What say you in your defense?
Killer of kings, on the day of your death we will drink.
Smart man. Now, come along with us. We'll take any stolen goods, and you'll be free to go. After you pay the fine, of course.
Damn, the Grey Mane are Battleborn. Then I say, well met, friend. I could tell you were a sharp one the moment I laid eyes on you. More bad blood between the houses. Fralya is convinced our family is somehow at fault for the loss of their son. There's no reasoning with these people anymore. Long live the Empire.
I might just be a servant among lords, but don't think for a moment I don't take my duties as seriously as the
I just think we need more
himself.
information before we act.
Well, I trust you have something vitally important to tell me. Important enough to interrupt me in the middle of council? Alvor? The smith, isn't he? Reliable, solid fellow. Not prone to flights of fancy. And you're sure Helgen was destroyed by a dragon? This wasn't some Stormcloak raid gone wrong? Really? You're certainly forthright about your criminal past. But it's none of my concern who the Imperials want to execute, especially now. What I want to know is, what exactly happened at Helgen? By Ysmir, Irileth was right! What do you say now, Proventus? Shall we continue to trust in the strength of our walls? Against the dragon?
My lord, we should send troops to Riverwood at once. It's in the most immediate danger.
The Jarl of
dragon is lurking in the
will view
mountains.
that as a provocation. He'll assume we're preparing to join Ulfric's side and attack him. We should not...
Enough! I'll not stand idly by while the dragon burns my hold and slaughters my people. Irileth, send a detachment to Riverwood at once.
Yes, my Jarl.
If you'll excuse me, I'll return to my duties.
That would be best. Well done. You sought me out on your own initiative. You've done Whiterun a service, and I won't forget it. Here, take this as a small token of my esteem. There is another thing you could do for me. Suitable for someone of your particular talents, perhaps. Come, let's go find Farengar, my court wizard. He's been looking into a matter related to these dragons and rumors of dragons. Farengar, I think I found someone who can help you with your dragon project. Go ahead and fill him in with all the details.
So the Jarl thinks you can be of use to me. Oh yes, he must be referring to my research into the dragons. Yes, I could use someone to fetch something for me. Well, when I say fetch, I really mean delve into a dangerous ruin in search of an ancient stone tablet that may or may not actually be there. Ah, no mere brute mercenary, but a thinker. Perhaps even a scholar? You see, when the stories of dragons began to circulate, many dismissed them as mere fantasies, rumors, impossibilities. One sure mark of a fool is to dismiss anything that falls outside his experience as being impossible. But I began to search for information about dragons. Where had they gone all those years ago? And where were they coming from? I learned of a certain stone tablet said to be housed in Bleak Falls Barrow. A dragon stone, said to contain a map of dragon burial sites. Go to Bleak Falls Barrow, find this tablet, no doubt interred in the main chamber, and bring it to me. Simplicity itself. An old tomb, built by the ancient Nords, perhaps dating back to the Dragon War itself. Ah, maybe you just want to know how to get there. It's near Riverwood, a miserable little village a few miles south of here. I'm sure some of the locals can point you in the right direction once you get there. Well, must preserve some professional secrets, mustn't we? I have my sources. Reliable sources. Ah, student of the craft. You'll need to start by learning an enchantment. Take an enchanted weapon or piece of armor, then use the arcane enchanter to learn its secrets. The item is destroyed in the process, so be wary. Once you know an enchantment, you'll need a filled soul gem and something to enchant. You'll use the arcane enchanter for that too. Of course, I have everything you need for sale if you have the coin. I believe I am, yes. Technically speaking, of course. The city is also home to a priest, priestess, an alchemist, and I'm sure others who practice. Ah, that reminds me. Speaking of alchemists, I have some frost salts for Arcadia. She asked me to obtain them for one of her potions. Would you be so kind as to deliver the frost salts for me? I'm sure Arcadia will provide some form of recompense. Good. You're clearly better suited than I am to carry out such a menial task.
This is a priority now. Anything we can use to fight this dragon, or dragons. We need it quickly, before it's too late.
Of course, Jarl Balgroof. You seem to have found me an able assistant. I'm sure he will prove most useful.
Succeed at this, and you'll be rewarded. Whiterun will be in your debt.
Oh, I thought you were already on your way to Bleak Falls Barrow. Oh, I thought you were already on your way to Bleak Falls Barrow.
I might just... If my cleaning gets in your way, just say the
Ain't
word and I'll
nobody
be off.
high and mighty in these halls, except in the Jarl. And don't you forget.
What is it, Elf?
I serve Jarl Balgruuf as steward. From Adrian? Ah, this must be that weapon for the Jarl. Poor girl. So eager to prove herself. I'll present it to Balgruuf when his mood is agreeable. Thank you. Please, take these few coins for services rendered. Of course. It's all in this note.
No lollygagging.
You have come. You have come to hear the word of Talos. May Talos guide you, is all I ask.
I know your family's honor is important to you.
It's a shame, isn't it?
It took me weeks to find that thieves' den.
This is the Gildergreen. It was planted as a seedling in the early years of Whiterun. Disciples of Kynareth could sense something holy in it, and traveled far to hear the winds of the goddess in its branches. They built the temple. Of course, not as many pilgrims these days.
Keep your wife. If you set foot outside that gate, I won't be here when you
Grace of Kynareth be with you.
Saphir! Wait, You tried mercenary work? My Saphir doesn't like that I've been spending so much time looking for my father's old sword. He fed his entire family with the gold he made using that weapon. I'm not about to let it gather dust in some thief's trophy room. I tracked it to a group of bandits nearby, but I'm no fool. I'd need the Whiterun guards or maybe hire the companions to get it. I don't know why I'm saying this, but if you find it out in your travels, I'd be grateful to you. If you find that sword, please bring it to me.
This is the Gildergreen. It was planted of course, not as many pilgrims these days. To the east of here is a hidden grove where the Eldergleam resides. It's the oldest living thing in Skyrim, maybe all of Tamriel. Our tree here in the city was grown from a cutting of that tree. You can still feel the glory of the mother tree through it. Even its name is an echo. I've thought about that. Trees like this never really die, they only slumber. I think if we had some of the sap from the parent tree, we could wake up its child. But even if you could get to the Eldergleam, you couldn't tap it. Not with any normal metal. Eldergleam is older than metal, from a time before men or elves. To even affect it, you have to tap into the old magic. You'll have to deal with the Hagravens. I've heard about the weapon they've made for sacrificing Spriggans. It's called Nettlebane. The hags terrify me, or I would have gone after it myself. Your spirit is strong. Kynareth's winds will guide your path. It's held in a Hagraven nest called Orphan Rock.
I work with my mother, sell fruits and vegetables. It's fun most